The university really is required, in my view, to actively construct opportunities for interrogation of ideas and the exchange of views across difference.
As institutions of higher learning, if we safeguard from society our license to pursue the truth fearlessly, the universities will endure and give light and leading to the nation. That's the business of the forum. That's what the life of this forum will be all about.
No matter how brilliant and beautiful and true and noble principles can be, they do not translate into a reality of a lived experience for anybody or everybody. The discomfort that's caused by having our ideas challenged and questioned is showing you the respect that you too are a member of this educational dialogue.
I think that part of what we have to do is go back to the idea of what does it mean to create conditions under which people can struggle with difficult ideas? What does inclusivity and diversity, true diversity, demand of us as a university?
Information wants to be free. It is in the nature of information to find an audience.
One of the core purposes of education is to prepare students to live in a pluralistic, often contentious society, okay? That is so important. So if your book decisions are designed to drain the pluralism from the place and drain the contention from the place, you're violating the sort of core principle of what education is.
We're dealing with, folks in Alabama who don't want their kids being exposed to the history of slavery in this country. We're dealing with folks who feel that, misrepresentations of trans identity are somehow harmful to the trans community, so they should be stopped. Everybody's trying to figure out how to stop somebody else from saying something that they don't like.
Born into slavery in Holly Springs, Mississippi, 1862. So of course both of her parents were slaves. Context is she was born during Reconstruction, right? Or just before Reconstruction. So she grew up having privileges that blacks had during that time frame before the Jim Crow laws. So to have a privilege and then have it taken away from you, that's a different type of mindset than, just never having it at all.
And I think your book kind of presents this so powerfully, is that she's not only embattled by the increasing racism and the ferocity of applying that racism by the white society in the South and increasingly also in the North. She's also isolated within black communities. She's isolated within first wave feminist communities around temperance, around suffrage. All the time, people are looking at Ida B. Wells in part because she's this implacable force of telling the truth and saying that she's too inconvenient to be partnered with.
Yes.
I think it's something for us to reflect on now, that we celebrate people who embody this idea of freedom of thought. But we need to recognize that when you don't have protections, and she did not have protections in terms of her rights, you do that work, but you don't enjoy the fruit of that work, either in relation to security for self, livelihood for self, and the proper place that you should have in terms of leadership.